Rick Rubin said something that, and it's really is like, I believe that what we're doing is good. So it's not just about just for the sake of art necessarily, but it's never been about like, oh, this is going to be the next big thing, or let's bring in a producer to make it sound like this. And Rick Rubin said this. He said that art is not for the listener. It should be for the artist. Mm-hmm. And, you hope that the listener likes it, but he said the art, truly great art is not done for that. It's an offering to God. Mm-hmm. And I know that maybe sounds absolutely insane to people listening, but I swear to you, it's the way I've always thought about it. Yeah. And I thought that right there that's it. Rick Rubin put exactly into words what I've always thought. Now as an artist, I don't care what anyone says, you're lying if you don't hope people like it, right? But you hope they like what you have created. You didn't create it for them. You created something that was very personal and real, and you hope that other people are as fired up about it as you, because you've done something, or at least when I do as an artist, I do something and I think it's cool. I'm like, whoa, this is cool. That's right now. This is great. I love this. And then sometimes, over time you get bored with it and you're on to the next thing. But I don't play a song that I don't, at least at the time, think is cool. Right. Like that's what it's about. It's about trying to, in a way, just you think, I've listened to all this stuff growing up, and I've studied this, and I've practiced this, and I've done that. And then you have an idea and you hone it down to this fine point, and you're like, okay, this right here, this is it. This is I think this is cool right here. And you record it or you play it live or both. And it's really just like, it's, I think that for most people that are truly artists and not just trying to, chase a fad or get a certain producer in that's going to make it sound like this thing that's happening right now. And I think for most people that are artists, that's the way they look at it. They're creating music kind of for themselves, but they hope other people like it. And I think best way, because if you're not making art that is in a way, like that's you can fail that way. You can fail, and I think that as an artist you should actually every now and then push the envelope so much that you fail, right? And by failing 100%. I mean you create something that maybe the audience wasn't that fired up on, right? They're like, you went too far this time, you know what I mean, or whatever.
And you got to push the boundaries.
I think so, or else you're not really chasing that down. You're not really doing the thing that you're supposed to do, because,
And not all musicians are that way, though. You know what I mean? Like, especially in the time of AI, it's like there's the bands out there that are like, oh, let's do an equation to figure out what people want to hear a song about and how they want to hear it and what chord progression needs to be so that it can be a radio hit. And it's just a math equation on how that's going to be created.
And some people are just about the fame. They're just about the fame. So like, over in our career, we had the chance where we could have done things very differently, right? Like there's been times we've had management and labels and they said, hey, we're going to get you in with this producer and we're going to make you sound like this thing that's happening right now.
Or trying to get us to do reality TV.
Yeah. But when it comes to the sound, like there was a couple of times when they were right. Like if we'd gone with a producer and sounded like the thing that was happening, who knows? Maybe we would be way bigger than we are, way more successful, more monetarily successful. But at the end of the day, I had this discussion with a friend of mine who got forced out of the band he started, mainly because he wouldn't do that. He wanted to play music that was inside him. And I talked to him and I said, look, you and I are cut from a similar cloth. I said, if we went in and we did that and we played all the songs they want us to play and we sang them the way they want us to sing them, I said, just to have some kind of fame or monetary success, I said, we would not be happy, because that's not why we started doing this. That's not why we're here. If it was just about fame, it's like, God, I sure as hell wouldn't be playing country blues. You know what I mean? I'd be playing damn near anything else. It was never about that. And I remember back in the day having all these people tell us that we were never going to amount to anything anyway, because the music was so niche. They're like, oh, this is, they're never going to be fans doing this stuff. Like we had so many people tell us that early on.
Yeah. But I have a friend who's a pro wrestler. It was actually really funny watching him because he liked pro wrestling a certain way. He liked it looking real. He wanted it to look like an MMA fight, and that's what he did. And he ended up going to Germany doing the stuff. And the WWE would go and talk to him and be like, "We want to sign you." And he just goes, "No, because I don't like the way you present wrestling. I don't believe that." And they kept on and kept on and kept on. And then one day they offered him so much money, he was like, "Okay, but I get to do it my way." You know what I mean? And they said, "Okay." And they let him go, and he did it, and he was there for a little while. And then as soon as he didn't get to do it his way, he's like, "Okay, I'm gone." You know what I mean? And I remember him saying, and I've used this same quote before, I remember him saying, "I'd rather be forgotten than remembered for giving in." You know what I mean?